to our presentation today. It's our workshop. We're going to have a bunch of us working together here, showing you something of what we do. And we're going to be using speakeasies for part of this. So I'm going to start by telling our legacy story for this conference. So it's a brief history of whole brain health in Second Life. It began in 2013 as an idea to try to create a brain health fair for seniors in a virtual world for the first time. These educational events are usually held in libraries and school gyms. When I told Jen O'Haron and iSky my idea, they immediately invited me to speak about promoting brain health at VAI's Spring Symposium the day before the fair. I think they wanted to help drum up interest in it, bless them. That summer, I also spoke about ways to promote brain health in older people at my first VWBPE conference. I mostly remember how terrified I was that poor wisdom seeker would fall into the abyss of the steampunk auditorium because she was still a pretty unsteady walker. Now, 4 years later, that single I has been transformed into a collective we of around 30 avatars working together on a 30,000 prim region of Rockcliffe called Inspiration Island. I hope Rockcliffe is as happy to have us as we are to be there. And these are many members of our collective. Not everybody could be there, but we were it was great to get as many as we got for the picture. To introduce myself to those who don't know me, my name is Lysena. Lys for short, like kiss or hiss, depending on how you feel about me. I'm also known as Wisdom Seeker or Wiz. I'm the owner of Inspiration Island and executive director of Whole Brain Health in Virtual Worlds. I'm also the co-founder of its parent not-for-profit organization, the Ageless Mind Project. I want to give a shout out here to the nonprofit Commons community in Second Life for being midwife to our 501c3. In fact, I want to emphasize the major role that collaborating with other special interest groups, individuals, and communities in Second Life has played in the rapid evolution of WBH, Whole Brain Health. Our stated mission is to provide individuals, and especially people in the second half of life, but not solely, with the knowledge, skills, and means. Thank you, Rhiannon. To keep their quality of life as high as possible by promoting their brain, by protecting their brain from harm and actively promoting its well-being. Touch the box near me. Fran, where is the box? Can you type into the chat where the box is? We have note cards listing our internet sites with landmarks and other information about us. Forgot to put that down. Whoa, what's happening? I forgot to close this off. I'm sorry. I have to lock it. I forgot to lock it. So poor people are moving it around without realizing it. Okay, let's go back. Oh dear. Hope I can go back. Yeah, go back one more. Okay, there's our mission. No, the gift box, I just didn't know where it was to point to it. There's also a nice t-shirt in it. Oh, thanks. Okay, grab something from the box. If you're interested in joining us in our venture after you learn more about us, please contact me. We're always inviting new people to present new programs that are part of this process. What do we mean by new frontiers in online brain training? Most people associate brain training with expensive commercial ventures offered by companies like Lumosity and Cognifit. These emphasize training key mental abilities like focus, concentration, attention, speed of processing, and so on, usually using single-player exercises. But there's still quite a bit of controversy about how great the transfer of skills actually is from these programs to daily life. That's why I gravitated early on toward certification in total brain health, which is an approach. My own professional training in mental health and coaching has always been oriented to the whole person, while also being evidence-based. This approach to brain health is multidimensional and comprehensive. It emphasizes experiential and group learning because those are what current studies on aging point to as most effective. It incorporates information on neuroplasticity and neuronal growth, draws on positive psychology and gerontology research, and is concerned with quality of life and longevity. It's also aware of the importance of the arts for human well-being. That's why the WBH logo looks like this: Inspire, Innovate, Interact, Change. This expresses our basic philosophy quite succinctly. We design our activities around the premise that brain training works best when it feels like an organic, living process rather than a mechanistic one. If people understand what kinds of habits and behaviors contribute to better brain health and overall well-being, and they also learn how to identify and apply their greatest intellectual, emotional, and psychological strengths so that they can put their understanding into practice, then they can make surprisingly powerful changes for the good in their own lives. That's what's called being proactive. Scientific American just published an article in its April 2017 issue entitled "A Rare Success Against Alzheimer's, a Gold Standard Clinical Trial Provides Evidence that Diet, Exercise, and an Active Social Life Can Help Prevent Cognitive Decline." It is written by two leaders of the well-known FINGER study. The F is for Finland, which showed improvement in memory, executive functioning, and processing speed when participants followed an experimental lifestyle and health regimen over 2 years. It's one of several recent studies that strongly suggest how very much informed choices can contribute to a person's well-being, and not only in older people. As the Sci American article concludes, prevention may prove the best way to manage the dementia epidemic, as it has for many other chronic diseases. The take-home message from FINGER, this is all the same quote. The take-home message from FINGER is that it may never be too early to take measures to prevent Alzheimer's, and fortunately, it may never be too late either. Changes to the way one lives seem to help some people even after cognitive decline has already begun. When I first saw Second Life demonstrated at a Positive Aging conference in Los Angeles a little over 5 years ago now, I somehow intuited the potential a virtual environment could have for the ever-growing older population around the globe. It could be a place that encourages optimal growth and health, no matter where people live or how mobile they are. We're building our programs on Inspiration Island around that vision. Studies keep validating the importance of diet, exercise, social engagement, and lifelong learning for well-being. There are also other elements being identified in a variety of allied fields, and that's why Whole Brain Health is focusing now on 5 major domains of human activity. Attention to them helps maintain and even improve the brain's vitality by reducing physical deterioration. This is something the finger study pointed out. And its functionality by strengthening the abilities that allow people to continue to live independently. And that was also shown in the finger study. These 5 domains often overlap, so one activity can have more than one positive effect. Exercising different parts of your being is like choosing to cross-train for more balanced muscle control. Our lotus is Inspiration Island in miniature. The butterfly hunt there asks you to think about the amount of time you spend in each of these 5 areas of activity. The domain of self-care, moving your body, feeding it mindfully, sleeping regularly, releasing stress. That is strengthening your ability to self-regulate. The domain of cognition, expanding your mind and sense of curiosity. That's training your mental processes and your memory. The domain of social behavior, having regular positive interactions with others. Honing your interpersonal skills. And what could be better for that than our collective, a group of individuals who work together. The domain of purpose, doing things that give you a feeling that you have a reason for being. Developing your inner awareness. That's one of our meditation groups right on the island that Danny runs. The domain of creativity, expressing yourself in some personal way. Using your imagination to problem solve in any area. So let me ask you guys to think about this. Do you regularly include activities from all 5 domains in your life? You can type in the chat if you want to type something there in response to that. What could you gain by exploring ones you don't pay much attention to once you realize that's so? How could you do that in an easy and natural way? What toolkit of personal resources would help you bring all 5 into your life with greater richness? Thanks, Olive. Yes, but not all equally, I guess. And that's true for most people. These are the questions that have led us to develop the standalone activities. We think of them as challenges. Yeah, self-care is often a hard one for people. I think self-regulation is one of the most difficult things for most people. So we also have the facilitated programs we're bringing you some samples of today. So we have those 2 things, standalone activities, which you can do with other people, but you don't need a facilitator, and the facilitated programs. We're developing, by the way, a beautiful nutritional resource center on the island now. We have a health literacy hacienda, health hacienda, all kinds of things going on related to that, to self-care. Not every activity or program will call to you, but you're likely to find something you can do within each of these domains once you recognize their value. We have over 30 areas on the island where you can try them out. We hope they'll motivate you to explore all of Second Life in a new and different way. So I've outlined our history and the conceptual framework we build on as we add programs and activities to the new second sim directly above the original ground level. Amazing what another 15,000 Prims can do. Come visit us and see. This leads to our future. Whole brain health's benefits are already available to current residents of Second Life. In fact, I gave a course last August to allow residents to do the brain training program, and I'll be running that again, probably this coming late spring. As I've already suggested, a central goal has been to reach many more people in the second half of life who've not yet encountered, perhaps even heard of virtual worlds. One of the most persistent problems with achieving this goal is a steep learning curve that comes with unfamiliar, complex, sometimes frustrating, certainly ever-changing online platform. We are always exploring solutions, ways to introduce people to our program so they can be persuaded to join us here. Since fall 2016, we have been experimenting with bringing older people into Second Life by pairing them with trained buddies who are students in an intergenerational computing class at Pace University in New York, not far from where I live. Their professor, Dr. Jean Coppola, is a visionary too. She invited me in to persuade her students, and I got 4 out of 17, which I think is a pretty good number. This semester, 4 students are guiding 4 people between the ages of 62 and 80 through our Newcomers Orientation Center and introducing them to our brain training program in 7 structured hour sessions once a week. The students spend a second hour weekly with me. I do some training of them at that time. We change the training as we discover what people are able to do or not able to do. So it's a very flexible kind of approach. Here, this is one of the students, Angie. Angie and I are at the center of the island. When newcomers type Inspiration Island into location at login, they come here. The blue button TPs them to our orientation center, and that's worked very well. The students earn course credit, and the seniors, in their own words, told me, have the comfort of a patient, friendly, knowledgeable companions as they gradually develop skill and confidence themselves. They also laugh a lot together. I suspect the seniors have been more willing to deal with inevitable glitches without giving up because they don't want to abandon their student partners. Meet Elena, Melody, and Druku, 3 of the students. We're at the Lotus here, they're going to be trained. And here is Angie again. This is the first picture she's ever taken in Second Life. I asked them to take pictures themselves and of what they were doing, and so she just started doing that herself, and she's going to teach her partner how to do it as well, because taking pictures is one of the joys of Second Life. Yes, document their work is and they also write blog posts for their professor, and they send them to me about what they're doing and how they're doing it. In the rest of this workshop, 4 more members of our collective will give you the personal opportunity to experience facets of our program. I hope you come away today with a curiosity about us, feeling refreshed and eager to join us next weekend as we continue our participation in this conference with an exciting 2-day immersive experience. You'll hear more about that next from Tuya Hines, our Associate Director of WBH. And I also want to thank Francisco Koolhoven, our Media Director, Fran, for all he's doing to make our workshop run smoothly today. So Fran will be leading a building class as part of next weekend. Tuya, now it's for you. I will move my chair out.
Hi, thank you. Just one moment. I'm adding a slide to my slideshow.
I want to say I did this in 20 minutes too.
Well done.
I'll take my chair and I will turn off my sound.
Okay. Boom. And let's take that back. Good. Wow, it's just amazing what you have done in this time, Lucinda. Um, I'll be speaking in uh, voice, but also I have a speakeasy. So let me just put my little bench down. Not waste too much more time with all that. If I can. Yay. Okay. Now I'm playing with some fancy presentation tools too. And I have a speakeasy going. Okay. Things are a little laggy here. All right. Well, hello, friends, and thank you for being with us today. As Lucinda spoke, I looked around this group, really a great, fantastic group of people that I've slowly getting to know over time. Um, a group of intelligent, creative, and caring people. Hope this works. Oops. Um, we're very fortunate to be associated with you all, and I hope it will continue for years to come. And so, during the brief time that I have during this workshop, I'll be asking you all to quickly share some methods and skills and tricks you all use for optimum learning and effectiveness. Shown above my head, I hope you can all see it. I have a particle overhead. This is what is called the brain learning cycle. And it's a paradigm that I've started using at Whole Brain Health. I'd like to share a recent experience of mine, just to kind of personalize this for you, which illustrates the process and effectiveness of this brain learning cycle that we're promoting at Inspiration Island. The Whole Brain Quest is coming up April 8th and 9th, next weekend at Inspiration Island. It will be an immersive 2-day experience of our creative, diverse, fun, and challenging community. While developing this quest, it was necessary for me to venture into an esoteric science that is highly detailed, loaded with special terminology and codes, and has been pretty much outside my professional and even casual realm, and that is the Brodmann brain areas. Gosh, this is a little bit of lag here. Sorry, my speakeasy is kind of lagged. There we go. One of the most fortuitous collaborations in 2016 was the addition to Inspiration Island of a gigantic interactive brain developed and maintained by Biru Zaris and Osangar. To integrate this meaningfully into our model of brain health, I had to start by imagining linking brain areas, or BAs, to the many different kinds of activities we offer. Excellent. We're all very excited about it and its potential to support our mission. So really, imagination was the starter for my whole quest to create the quest here. So I'm going to shout out to you and ask you, please, share with us something that you imagine. You've got 1 minute. Just type it in chat. I want to hear from you. What can you imagine? No matter how crazy, impossible, difficult. Teleporting in real life. Wow. I imagine that too. A yellow bouncing ball. Smelling in Second Life. These are great. Kind of crossover dreams, I guess you might call them. Control Z. That's pasting? The drone that's on the center front of the stage. Two people can't see it. Oh. World peace. Mulligan. The redo. That's right. Can we start over? Can we just start over and redo? Undo. Do-overs. Wow, that seems to be a popular imagination. Well, may your dreams come true. This is wonderful to hear from you all. Brilliant. Well, next in my quest development process, I had to organize my time, communications and notes and objects, and as well as those of our partners in this. To organize this clutter of schedules and communications and notes, I use tools like the cloud and intricate folder and file systems and alerts and even strings around the finger. I also depend on my friends to back it all up so that if I lose some data, they can remind me of it. What tools do you use to organize your projects and learning? Let's hear from you. iPhone nags, alarms, those are great. Streamlining the flow, very good. Sometimes duplication is useful and sometimes it really gnarls things up. Mind maps. Saving chats is really good. I started saving chats years ago, and I highly recommend it to everyone. Yes, I know that they're full of useless information too, but there's no substitute for being able to look back on a chat to find out what somebody said. Writing everything down. Using Trello for transitioning. Yes, please, just can you briefly tell us what Trello is about? Lists of concepts? Yes, right. So making short notes about summaries and concepts and getting to the gist of the issue so you stay focused. Google Keep. Large papers on desk with boxes and different categories and days. This is amazing. Evernote. Thanks. We'll look at Trello when we all have a chance. And OneNote. And many of these tools are free to use for everyone, and that's really great. A shoe organizer. So that's terrible if all the data you collect and the work you've worked so hard on is lost. It's desperate. Fantastic. And all I can say is those are really great suggestions. Wow. The collective intelligence and experience here in this group is priceless. And that's what this conference is about. Best practices and education. Okay, next. For this to happen, I also needed to work with a diverse group of people and be mindful of their skills and their emotions, their timetables, and my own hastiness and subjective agenda. In many ways, this is more difficult than organizing information. It's subtle, it takes time, and it's a very personal experience. Mindfulness. Buddhism training has helped me to be more mindful, as has the influence of successful friends and colleagues. Sorry, there's a little chat lag here. Stepping back from my own mind stream and listening and asking for restatement and repetition are some tricks that work for me. What helps you be mindful of others? Mindfulness is one of these contemporary catchwords that's loaded with importance, and we're all talking about it these days. It's a very positive concept. Listening, lots of listening. Thinking about what they need or get from working with me. That's really hard. What do they get from working with me? What can I? Yeah, it's a really good point. The golden rule, which is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And not as we're being fed in modern politics, an eye for an eye. It's not the golden rule. Awareness of my own tendencies. Yes. We can modify ourselves. We can be different people. We can behave differently. Or even not behave at all. That's one of the things I've learned about mindfulness is I don't have to do anything. I don't have to react. I don't have to contribute. Observing with genuine interest. That's not easy to do, but it's important. Balancing others' needs and my own. slowing down to pay attention to little things. Yes, the subtle things, the beauty that's all around, smelling the roses. Thank you. Excellent tips. Okay, I need to move along here because we have another speaker after me, who's Galen, who has great things to share with you too. Several periods of reflection helped me to refine my goals as I accessed my own memories of previous encounters and conversations, knowledge of brain physiology, Second Life building tools. Oops, there was supposed to be another line in there. And the also the characteristics of the learning environment and the definitions and meanings and associations of the quest activities themselves. And really important is the results of test trials, making sure that we thoroughly test systems before we put them into play. Please share, how do you use reflection in your learning? This is a more difficult one, but it's something we do even when we're sleeping. At all times, our brains are active, and they're reflecting and correlating and organizing, repeating. Play what if to think about alternative paths. Very good. Reflecting on why things matter. Are they relevant? And their connectedness. Excellent point. Thinking about how I could have done something better or differently after. This is a very rich part of the learning experience. And it also demonstrates that it is a dynamic and evolving process. Learning a fact isn't learning. That's just memorization. And facts are mutable. Reflection is the ongoing metamorphosis and creation of our reality. Make sure you have enough rest. And the dreams, yes, those are very good. A lot of reflection happens during sleep. Really great points. Thank you. Wow. I like that wow side. I might just wear that around. Wow. Finally, the science and the community and the vision will coalesce with the collaborative action of creation, which hopefully will have meaning and be enjoyable for the quest participants, and hopefully will be complete by next Saturday. Action is not the end in itself. The healthy brain learning cycle repeats as people and needs and conditions change and we learn more. I'm going to have to rush along here and wrap this up. We don't have time to answer this question. So this brain learning cycle is intrinsic in every quest activity. Imagine, organize, be mindful, reflect, and act. Thank you very much for your attention and for contributing to this conference. And I yield the floor now to our friend Galen.
Shukran. It was a very interesting lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tuya.
Thank you.
I am
I'll
also have a lot to
take off
say. I
my
like to
bubble
talk.
here.
We all like to share what we're doing, so I'm going to get right to it. And so I don't go over my time because I have a lot to share with you. Hello, everyone. I'm Galen Delare. I hope you are enjoying the workshop and the conference so far. I am fortunate to be a part of this amazing group of people at Whole Brain Health and to have a place at Inspiration Island. My talk today is a blend of ideas and practice, for that is part of my newest project called The Impossible You. This project teaches people to strengthen their connection to intuition in order to facilitate empowerment and self-guidance. It is a project that flows among worlds in the metaverse and the physical world. You can watch the project's progress at the Garden of Impossible You on Inspiration Island. Today I'll talk about the relationship between empowerment and self-care, specifically to alleviate stress and facilitate body and brain health. There are some studies that find that stress is our #1 cause of dis-ease and of some illnesses. Continual stress lowers our immune system's ability to fight disease and causes muscles to contract constantly. Over time, this creates muscle building in places we don't want building to happen. It causes the muscles to pull on our spine in uncomfortable ways that can, in turn, pull other muscles and joints into unnatural and uncomfortable positions. Decreasing stress reverses these situations. Relaxation not only decreases discomfort in our muscles, it increases the intake of fresh oxygen, blood flow throughout the body, and supplies much-needed nutrients to each cell, including those in our brain. I've been teaching stress reduction using a specific breathing technique for over a decade. I am heartened at the awareness that we have now that we need to slow down and get more rest. But in spite of that awareness, we are often still stressed. Many of us do not engage in meditation or relaxation techniques because we think we don't have the time. We've grown up in a society that values productivity and shames visible inactivity. Who needs rest when you have coffee? Sleep is a waste of time. Time is money. If you enjoy it, it isn't work or valued productivity. Even your vacation requires doing, doing, doing. We only sleep when we drop from exhaustion and when our body rebels because it needs sleep to refuel and refresh. And a lot of us are tired all the time. We also see the quick fix commercials. Are you feeling down, tired, depressed? Are you ill because you're doing, doing, doing and don't rest? Take our medication, our vitamins, our energy drink, and feel better instantly. Couple this with the notion that caring for ourselves seems selfish, and we are only doing good if our assistance is visibly active and can be seen by others. If we aren't seen giving it, doing it, talking about it, are we still doing good? So here we are, in a situation that we don't really like and is actually rather painful, but we feel it's the norm and we're afraid to change. We feel pressure to conform to it. It is bad enough that our workday is filled with pressure, but we bring that pressure home and feel it, even when we have free time. We have too much to do, not enough time to do it in. Too much to think about, feel about, know about, too many other people to care for. If we try to take our free time for ourselves, we are worried we will be shamed for being lazy, selfish, or greedy. But it doesn't have to be this way. It's only the norm if you believe it to be so. The pressure you feel to keep going and keep doing is one you think is real, but it isn't real. Who would notice if you were more relaxed during the day, moved a bit more slowly, or went to sleep earlier because you didn't lay in bed worrying? You're already in bed, so you could be asleep. Who would know? Who would know if you arrived at work 1 minute early instead of 10? Who would notice if you went above and beyond 3 times a week instead of 5? Or if you said no once a week instead of never? Chances are you would notice. Thank you, Ree. You'd probably still be a superhero, but not quite so super stressed. We have allowed ourselves to believe that stress is the norm, and we train our body accordingly. We don't dare disbelieve because something nebulous will know and will take away our job or our sense of security, our love from others, our approval from society. We are fully immersed in the worry cycle, and our bodies comply by constant muscle contraction, retaining toxins in our cells. As a result, we get less blood to our brain, our thoughts become scattered, our emotions surface because we're tired, and they either spike or remain in a constant state of dull anxiety. So what can we do? We can start to exit the deception and reverse the effects. We rebel against the norm and become deviant. We start small. We go easy on ourselves. We dare ourselves to disbelieve and trust in our own ability to decide what's right for us. And we can breathe. We can breathe anywhere, at any time. We breathe anyway, so let's breathe. We take one breath, then another, and maybe a third. We can breathe for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or 60 minutes. We are so powerful, we can train and shape our bodies to our will. We have shaped them to our stress level through our belief in a stressful norm. In the same way, we can use our inner power to reverse the process, working with our body to reshape it into a natural, healthy, stress-free state. We and our society did not evolve overnight into one that is crazy busy, and we won't be able to slow it down overnight either. We don't have to risk chastisement or even tell anyone what we are doing. We just begin, creating a new action pattern and slowly making it into a new practice of self-care. We don't have to instantly stop doing anything or caring for anyone. At the same time, if we allow ourselves to take care of ourselves and our body, we will be able to help others much more effectively. If we are calm, rested, and confident, we think more clearly and we have more energy. We make better decisions and we act on, rather than react to, in any given situation. We consider what is in front of us. We breathe more deeply, filling blood cells with oxygen and sending it to our brain. Our mind can think more clearly, serving us more effectively when fed. And overall, we move a bit more slowly, a bit more calmly, and with more care for ourselves, knowing that perhaps we are giving off calm vibes that others feel as well. We've all been with people who are so calm that we calm down just by being around them. And the opposite, people who are so stressed that we immediately become stressed just by being around them. So we have to begin with ourselves. We are what we think, how we feel. We are what we believe we have to be and do. We each are a center, and a strong center helps others to also find their center. Our own sense of well-being emanates outward like a candle, or a lamp, or a sun. The most difficult part is to walk through the transition of the change from the now norm of stress to your new norm of calm. Not only the doing of it, or not the doing of it, but the believing that self-care is appropriate, proper, or acceptable. The second part of my talk today is to take you through a simple but effective breathing technique for walking through this transition into a new norm. It will help you retrain your body to relax. In the same way as we begin to retrain our muscles in exercising, we need to retrain them also to relax. This technique works with our body, the body that knows how to release toxins, relax and contract muscles, and fight off disease. This helps our brain and promotes clear thinking, but we don't work on our thinking, we work around it. We have to do it this way because the mind thinks. It never stops thinking. Its job is to think. Its job is to provide us with thoughts, images, memories, and to recall them so we can communicate about them or, as in we have been doing during the conference, add to them. How often have you begun to relax and found yourself thinking about the worrisome or unhappy events of the day? Who did or said what? Who was unfair or unkind? What did or didn't you get done? What you lose, this, that, your job, your livelihood? Round and round these thoughts go. For some reason, whenever we have free time, we always start thinking about the worrisome things. So we might try to stop these thoughts, but we can't. The mind never stops thinking. That's its job. And thoughts about lack or loss trigger the emotion of fear. So the thought, I forgot to do that, triggers fear, which in turn directs our obedient body to secrete adrenaline to help us flee or face what we fear. Our body doesn't know there isn't actually a life-threatening situation. It only knows the emotional stimulus has asked it to secrete adrenaline and contract some muscles. Round and round we continue to go. Thought, emotion, adrenaline. Muscles react and contract. Over time, they remain contracted. Like an athlete, we've built up muscles. Only these are muscles that pull our body out of a healthy shape. So now, let's do a little bit and begin to reverse that. I'd like you to take a deep breath. A nice deep breath in through your nose. Don't try to stop whatever thought has come into your mind. Just take a deep breath. Breathe in slowly and fill up your lungs with air. Don't overdo it. Do only what you can. Then exhale through your mouth. How do you feel? I'm sorry, what do you feel? Not how do you feel, but what do you feel? If you felt a little muscle relaxation and a little relief, good. Let's do it again. Oh, sleepy. Yeah, that's the danger of talking in groups like this. Is I tend to put people to sleep or in a deep trance, and I'm trying not to do that today. So fill up your lungs. Breathe in again, and then exhale. What do you feel? Become aware of the feeling in your body, in your muscles, in your neck and shoulders, and your lower back. One more time, a little more slowly. Just exhale. Do you feel a little tingling in your body? This is your body taking notice of the new activity. Which muscles are tingling? Take notice of that. This is the first step. Just breathe. Something different happens when you make the choice to breathe this way. Choice requires intention. I intend to breathe deeply. So this is a type of intentional breathing. Let's do it again. This time, choose to inhale with focus. Breathe in slowly through your nose, a little more slowly. Fill up your lungs from your diaphragm to the top of your shoulders. And when your lungs are full, this time purse your lips as if you're going to whistle, and then relax all of your muscles except your lip muscles. Let the pressure of the air in your lungs push its way out. Take your time, but just notice how that feels. Sometimes you can even hear your breath, and it's okay to listen to it. And then when your lungs are empty, inhale a second time through your nose. Fill up your lungs from the bottom to the top, nice and slow. And when your lungs are full, again, purse your lips to create resistance, and then relax. Let the air push its way out. The only muscles working in your body are your lips. The rest are allowed to relax. And a third time. Slowly inhale through your nose. Fill up your lungs. And when they're full, relax and let the exhale take place while you become aware that you're rather enjoying allowing all the muscles in your body to relax. Now, relax completely and let your breathing regulate itself. You've asked your body to do a new exercise, and it might not be used to it. So like an athlete, you've begun the retraining in a very small way. 1 breath is nice, 2 is interesting, 3 gets your body's attention, 3 establishes a pattern. Now where was your mind in all of this? Somewhere else? No, it was churning out thoughts just like it always does, or adding new thoughts, such as those from this workshop. What was different was that you, the you that is your awareness, moved to be aware of something else. You moved your awareness to your breathing and your body, no longer focusing awareness on your thoughts. Your mind serves you. It does not control you. Your mind thinks. That's its job. It serves you with those thoughts, but your mind is not you. And your thoughts are yours to do with as you will. You don't have to obey them. You are you, and you are aware, and you can change what you're aware of. Let's do another 3-breath cycle and see what our body does this time. Again, breathe in through your nose and fill up your lungs. And then exhale, purse your lips and let the air push its way out. And again, breathe in. Imagine the air filling up your lungs. Give it a color if you'd like. Make it into steam or something healthy. Add some nutrients to you if you'd like, and then exhale. And inhale again, nice and slow. And when your lungs are full, purse your lips, exhale again, and just let yourself sink into relaxation. And after the third one, just rest and let your breathing regulate itself. And take a moment to move your awareness to the way your body feels. How does it feel? You don't have to answer, because right now I just want you to be enjoying. That's kind of the difficulty with this part of the workshop, is that it's okay if you don't answer. Just relax and enjoy it. Now move your awareness to your emotional state. How do your emotions feel? You might notice that they don't feel like much right now, and that's a good sign. When you reach a relaxed center, you've moved your awareness away from thoughts, emotions, and sensations. By doing this, you get out of the way and let your body begin the task of exchanging toxins and nutrients, moving oxygen through the blood system and to the brain, and relaxing the muscles. Now, how do you feel? Hopefully, you just feel better. You can make a practice of intentional breathing. You may find yourself going from feeling better to feeling good, then feeling good to feeling great. Don't worry if your muscles resist relaxation at first. You are retraining them to a new activity, and they always resist when you start a new exercise. So this is the same way. If your thoughts of would've, could've, should've begin to surface, don't try to stop those either. Just take a deep breath. Imagine the air filling up your lungs, and then move your awareness to that action. Listen to your breath if you wish. Imagine a color if you wish. And you can do one more cycle of 3 if you'd like. And I'm going to bring my talk to a close. There are many layers of benefits with any relaxation technique. While your body relaxes, balances, and retrains itself to a low or non-stress level, it helps to clear your mind and emotions by giving them some rest. You're also training your lungs to increase your capacity and help your muscles change to a healthy shape. Finally, you get to relax. Who doesn't enjoy that? This way, we empower ourselves, using our inner power to change the way that we direct our body. Silently, we retrain our body, and we let ourselves experience awareness rather than thinking. Rather than try to stop thinking, we move our awareness to somewhere other than those fear-inducing thoughts. Our brains are fed, and our minds are more alert. and we're generally more calm. So take that first intentional breath. 1 time, 6 times, 9 times. You can do it on your own or with us on Tuesdays at Inspiration Islands. The beneficial effects remain with you long after the exercise is over. You don't have to use it only as a remedy for dis-ease that has become painful. Thank you very much, and I am now going to turn this over to Ewan for the next section of our workshop.
To you, a little short description of my end of the Whole Brain Health, myself and my colleague Jasmine Lordenwich. We do a group every Sunday called Transcendent Activation, which ties very much into what Galen, who did a wonderful job just now, has demonstrated for us about the breath, the power of the breath, and the power of seeking peace within. And this, her demonstration was so good that I would just like to say that in our group, we also do deep breathing exercises as well. And we also practice meditation. Would also like to thank Fran for running the speakeasy for this presentation, and also for adding some of the objects that we will be using. First, let me see if this works here. There we go. Just a moment. Let me try to get you this. Just a moment. Rotate it. All right. All right, this is just a little PowerPoint here. Let me first of all touch this and go to Auto Manual. Okay. Now, if I can just go back. The short PowerPoint here tells you a little bit about meditation and the Transcendent Activation group. What is meditation? Meditation is a concentrated focus upon either sound, an object, visualization, and of course, as Galen has just demonstrated here, the breath. Or it could be movement or just the process of attention itself. We'll be practicing all of these in the group. By the way, the group meets every Sunday at 3 p.m. SLT. The object of meditation is to increase awareness of the present moment. This has the effect of reducing stress and promoting relaxation, allowing you to feel better, to breathe better, and to enhance your personal and spiritual growth. Now, what is mindful meditation? The Transact group will be concentrating on perception and mindfulness, using a number of tools and objects which are unique to Second Life. Mindful meditation is a meditation in which we look at our thoughts without judging them. We look at the way that we think, much as we did in the last exercise, and we acknowledge them. Then we have an opportunity to breathe and to shift our thinking. This helps us create detachment from the past or the future, and to remain solidly within ourselves, within the present moment. So let's do this again. And for this group, we will be using some basic skills in Second Life. The object, the hopeful object of the group for you is to be able to build your own special place which you can use in Second Life. I call it my personal ashram, which could be a skybox or just a little corner in a sim, in which you construct it in a way which is perfect for you to do your meditation practice. And this way, in your very busy real life, you can pull out your laptop and pull up Second Life and put yourself right into a three-dimensional meditation experience. This would allow you to affect the lighting, as you know, in Second Life, the various textures that make for both the foreground and the background, the scenes that you place yourself in within your ashram, any words or affirmations that you find most meaningful and touch your heart, music and sounds, and any moving objects that you would want to focus and concentrate upon. We also will be visiting a number of sims in Second Life which are dedicated to a peaceful meditative surrounding, and there are many of those. Oops. Looks like we're having a little bit of trouble here with this, but there isn't much more. So, practicing constructing your personal ashram, changing visual textures, movement and focus, watching our breath, watching our thoughts. Okay. Now I'm going to, at this point, just show you here an example. This is where we would have the group. It's in a skybox on Second Life, but you could see here that this surrounding might be considered to be a darker forest. Notice as you are looking at this picture, what thoughts, what mood, what emotions are evoked. Now notice the object in the middle, which is a moving object, which we will display in a few moments. Now, here you see the same object, but a different foreground and a different background. Can you see how the background and the atmosphere, even in a virtual reality such as this, can affect your inner mood and your inner feelings, which of course helps set the stage for your breath and for your peace of mind and body. Okay, now I'm going to take the PowerPoint away. And with Fran's help here, we're going to do some demonstration of this. So this would be an experiential time for all of you. And Fran, if you will now put the texture on the back. No, the back, Fran. The back texture, the one that looks like the background. Okay, there you are. You can see here that as you're constructing your ashram, you can do all kinds of things. Now suddenly, you find yourself in however you might want to describe this. Is it outer space? Is it a bright, starry night? Are you on your own planet? Allow whatever associations, perceptual thought associations, you might have to come to mind. What feelings does this evoke inside of you? Now take a deep breath, much as Galen showed us, and let yourself zoom in. Use the camera to zoom in and just immerse your whole perception, your whole mind on that particular ambience here. Notice what it feels like. What does it remind you of? How does it make it a time which is yours and yours only? Now, of course, we'll experiment with a number of different backgrounds, and you will have the opportunity to sample how your surroundings come into the present moment and how they affect your breathing, how they affect your thoughts. Now, Fran, if you will res the first object, which is the foreground. That was the first one you had resed a moment ago. There we go. Now you can add into your personal ashram a moving art object, and we do supply these in the group. We can also help you to construct your own using very basic building methods. Now, again, use your zoom in your camera to come closer to the art object, noticing how your breathing and your feelings shift as you draw closer and closer and become a part of this object itself, letting its energies envelop you. This is part of mindfulness. Mindfulness is focused attention with little or no effort. It's a personal choice. You notice the moving light. You notice the moving objects. And then you notice your breathing. As you do this for several minutes, and we do that in the group, you will see your whole body begins to regulate and calm down. And with practice, you will keep your attention on this present moment and on its movement. Okay, Fran, if you could do the second object, please. Okay, now here's another example for you. And again, I ask you to take your camera and zoom in on this kind of movement. And you notice that this may feel a little differently to you. But as you do this, you will be able to allow it to speak to you in terms of light reflection, in terms of texture, in terms of its solidity. If you zoom all the way into the object, you notice also the feeling of impermanence as the object moves through you. And amazingly, you remain calm and at peace. Taking some deep breaths. You may even go into the core of the object so that you become the object. We practice with various objects, with various scenes, as you again contemplate constructing your own. Now, Fran, if you could res the third object. And yet this is another example here. You could see yourself being hugged, enveloped, wrapped in light. And what does that feel like? And as you zoom in, you will notice that the light intensity changes. The light intensity changes. How does that feel? This kind of reminds me of being out in the sun, and the sun pokes in and out of clouds, and when it's out of the cloud, it's most intense and brightest. But all kinds of associations may come to you. The whole warmth of being wrapped in light also comes to you. With the aid of many of the tools of Second Life, such as the basic building, the art objects, the ability to res, the ability to add textures for the background, to add a number of foreground objects, meditation is enhanced. And of course it's portable. So we meet once a week, and we look at a variety of these so that you can glean these tools for yourself, and outside of the group construct your own personal meditative ashram. We will also be taking a number of field trips, if you will, to various sims around Second Life, including portions of the Whole Brain Health, which also have areas with great meditation. So we'll be looking at where perhaps you might find your favorite spots to meditate that are already constructed for you. I know meditation is a very large part of my life. I practice meditation daily, and I find that, initially over time it's a little awkward. Initially you might be able to meditate for 2 to 3 minutes. That's fine during the day. But eventually it becomes a very welcoming and very reinforcing feeling that you find helps keep your thoughts clear, also enhances sleep, enhances your metabolism, but most of all gives you peace of mind as you're interacting through the day, and helps you to regulate your own personal peace. That is the group. We meet again on Sundays, and I have a note card here if you'd like. If you're interested in more about this group, I'd be happy to pass a note card your way. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, everybody who has presented so far. I just want to let you know that in about 10 minutes, the Cold Shot players will be coming to do a reading here and do some readings here of plays they have been writing and then which they will then read for you and to give you a sense of some of the creative kinds of activities we have here. We have some other people here who are also members of our collective who offer a variety of programs. And I just want to shout out to those, and maybe they want to say a couple of words. Marley Melena's here, who offers some wonderful creative programs as well. So, Marley, if you would like to say something in text, I probably will try to transcribe for you if I can, or somebody else can, if other people can jump into, that would be great if you can do that to transcribe
Can
for
I
her.
speak?
And let's see if it's, oh, Stranger Nightfire is here. He can also just wave to you and tell you a little bit maybe about his program. And then if you have some questions, comments, and so on, we can certainly hear those for about 10 minutes. And then on the half hour, oh, thank you very much, Electra. On the half hour, Belana and her troupe will be here, and I will move forward so that Fran can set up for them. Fran, am I far enough forward? I also want to say that at the sides of the stage now, you see the gift boxes with information and the T-shirts, and then the other thing we have here is our globe, which tells you about the quest that Tuya was talking about. So take a look,
Okay.
get the note card out of that too.
I'm going to just take a couple of minutes very quickly because I didn't actually prepare a presentation. But I just want to let you know that my part of the work that we do has to do with metaphorical thinking and creativity, creative expression, and the combination of arts processes, psychology, and education. And I do this in a variety of ways. Some of you may have come to my session yesterday here on symbolic modeling, which is my contribution to Second Life in terms of thinking metaphorically, building symbolic representations of feeling states, of thoughts, ideas, values, decision processes, problem solving. I have people actually use the technology here instead of using it immersively to make landscapes and so on. I have them use it symbolically. So that's one thing I do, and I apply it in a lot of different ways. I have people do collaborative sculpting with each other and create stories out of what they create. I do a climate change program. I'll be doing one on April 22nd. If you belong to any of our groups, you'll get the notice about it. Otherwise, you can contact Francisco Koolhoven here, Fran, who is one of our estate managers and a tech guys, and has been my assistant for many years. I also have a gallery where I help people see more what they're looking at, and there's an interactive guide there, a box with questions about the paintings and what it is you're looking at. And I do also personal growth groups, discussion groups on creative process, all kinds of things like that. So I'm not going to take any more time, but if you're interested, you might like to join my group called Octagon Creative Exploration, or if you're in one of the whole brain health groups, you'll get notices about the programs that I'm doing. Thank you. I have a lot of lag today. It's very hard for me to move. I'm sorry if I step on anybody.
Did anybody want to, in maybe in chat, it's easier if you can, although if you want to speak, we're certainly not against it. Does anybody have any questions or any comments? Whole Brain Health is WBH's Whole Brain Health. And I think, Fran, do you want to put up the things? I think Belana is actually here.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you are. Where are you? I'm looking for you. Come up to the front.
I am in the audience, stage left.
Okay, come to the front. Come to the front, and Fran will put seats up.
Well, I can stay over here for a second. I don't necessarily want to be hit by a row of seats.
All right, where are we going
Well,
to sit for these
okay.
things? Does anybody have any? Does anybody have any questions, any thoughts, anything you would like to add, offer, ask?
Liz, if I could just add one thing about the I call them the Tuesday sessions because they're not just meditations and they're not just healing sessions. They're more healing sessions than anything, but they are at Inspiration Island at 10:30 on Tuesdays, Second Life time, 10:30 a.m. Second Life time. So if anyone's interested in that, just let me know and I will get the information to you.
Great. Great.
I don't
I
know if
did
everyone
put
heard that, but
yeah. I put some things into that gift box, but I don't think we
okay.
got that in your time. But we certainly have about us. We have a list of the people who are members of the collective now, who are active in the collective.
Okay.
Any other questions, thoughts before we go on? Okay, Belana, are you ready to come up?
I'm kind of up.
Okay.
I'm looking to see. I'm looking
Yes,
to
you
see
are.
if the chairs are in place yet.
Yeah.
And
Okay, there they are.
I think we are. And so I'll just hop up here and sit on this end. And my players, Cold Shot, they will
Yep.
find their spots. And as we kind of get settled in, welcome everyone. I'm sure people have been welcoming you all day and all week, and I hope you've been enjoying VWBPE. I'm very glad to be here to talk about what we do at Inspiration Island. About 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, I rezzed in Second Life and found this incredible community of artists, voice artists and graphic artists and so forth. And somehow something that I love to do in the real world, as we say, which is table reading plays, I was able to create here in Second Life not only table reading of plays and scenes and what's called a flash play, but also to be able to encourage people to write plays. Okay, and so we meet every Saturday at 11 a.m. But on the second and fourth Saturdays, we just read scenes and scenes and scenes together and plays together and one acts together, classics, original works, modern works. But on the first and third Saturdays, we write plays, and then we read the plays. So the first half, the first hour, I provide prompts to my group, and then we go quiet, and everyone is frantically writing according to the prompts a scene. And then in the second hour, we actually give voice to the scenes. So I'm going to pass out to everyone here what a prompt card looks like. So a prompt card, and I am laughing because I get teased about how big my prompt cards are. So, be careful, they could be heavy. I like to provide as many different kinds of cards, prompts, and ideas for scenes as I possibly can. So hang on a second. Let me just take a moment to do this little technical move of passing out the card to everyone here. And there are a lot of people here. Boom. Did everybody get a card?
I received it.
Okay, good. I'm assuming that since my screen is completely lit up, that everyone is getting it. I see it in chat. And so if you take a look at that, you can see that as you scroll down, any one of these items can be used to write a flash play or a flash scene or a one act. And many people who have come to Cold Shot for the flash and dash is what we call it, they've never written a play ever, okay, let alone any kind of literary piece. But I start people out very simply by saying, think about two or three people in a room talking about something, because plays are really conversations. And where you start to take it up to the theatrical level is that you have a conflict, okay? And so one person wants something that the other two people also want. And as they talk about, how they're going to get their needs met, you basically have the basics for a scene. So what we're going to do today is the scenes that we are going to read for you. These are all originals. They are scenes that were written by people who have come to the Flash and Dash. So basically, I hope that you gather from this that anyone can do this. Just give me a second to get my note card open. Okay, so one of the first ones that we did actually is a flash that was written by somebody about being in Second Life. Okay, so this one's called Sim of the Dead, and I'm about to pass it out to people that are sitting up here as soon as I can get my inventory open. Okay. Has everybody got a copy of, have all the Cold Shot people got a copy of the Sim of the Dead?
Yep.
Okay, so, Fran, why don't you play Frack? Sonatus, you play
Okay.
Whack.
I'm whack.
Wisdom Seeker, if you would you do the narration and I'll do off screen, and Tuya, will you be Catboy?
No.
Okay, take it away, Wisdom Seeker.
Okay. You log into this window with your own username and password. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a virtual land of shadow and substance, of things and ideas. There's a cross-dressing catboy up ahead. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. Scene cuts to two avatars transporting into what looks like an empty sim. There are two male avatars who have each been in Second Life for less than a year. They both belong to college freshmen who are killing time on Second Life when they should be studying. Frack resident seems a thoughtful type who's into poetry and art. His real name is Fred, and he's studying graphic arts in the real world. Whack's real name is Ted, and he's studying computer science in the real world.
Whoa! What happened to that sim?
I don't know, dude. I just got booted right the hell off of there.
Are there rolling restarts scheduled for today? I didn't see any 2-minute warning.
Heck no. We crashed this sim, dude. That's what happens when the joint starts filling up with Brazilians looking to cash in on sploder balls. Them frickin' gestures and nonsense. We overloaded the sim and crashed it, I bet.
Did you see anybody else from the club get booted here?
Whack pans the camera around, then hits his radar looking at a list of nearby names.
There's no one here I recognize, but there's a lot of people here according to the radar.
Well, where are they? Why can't I see them?
I don't know, but there's nearly 80 people in range in this sim by my radar count.
I'll bet Sims must be crashing all over. Don't know why we got sent here. This is like no safe hub I've ever seen. What the heck is this place?
Safe hub. Oh, hell, I forgot. You know our local maintenance guy for our dormitory? That Ukrainian dude, Void Tech?
Old guy, funny accent, drives a forklift like Formula One driver?
Yeah, that's him. He's doing the safety check on the furnace.
At the start of summer?
We had a rough winter. They got to fix it up and make sure it's ready for next year. I'm the resident RA, the only one here in the summer, so the senior council quietly asked me to make sure he doesn't get drunk and screw it up.
What time is he supposed to start?
I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock.
Well, what is it, 10 or 11?
Don't know.
Oh, just drop in on him in an hour or so and make sure he hasn't passed out in the air ducts. I don't see why an RA has to babysit someone like that. That guy weirds me the hell out. Are you sure he's Ukrainian?
I don't know, but if you want to see something weird, check the About Land menu for this parcel we're standing on, then click the tabs and tell me what you see.
Freck brings up the menu and reads what he sees.
It's all blank. No square footage. No parcel support. No prem usage. What the hell?
This place is seriously glitched out. I bet it's gonna crash.
Could this be something like an unformatted sim? Like a brand new sim that doesn't have all the settings in place yet?
Nah, this sim was at least 3 years old. And look at the owner.
Peter Loudon, one of the founders of Second Life? But this sim isn't listed as a Loudon location on the map.
Peter Loudon died 2 years before you and I joined Second Life. People said back in the old days Peter had awesome plans for Loudon Labs, but Wiki says he died in a car crash in Sunnyvale, California about 3 years ago.
But you just said this sim is 3 years old. How could... Wait, Whack. Peter Loudon is on the radar.
Ooh, we got a TP over there right now.
Frack and Whack TP over to another location that doesn't look any different than the one they just left. Nearby are 3 avatars that are simply standing blankly with their arms at their sides, not moving.
Holy crap! It is him!
What the hell is this avatar doing online?
Whack isn't looking at Peter Loudon as he's checking out a male avatar standing near Peter Loudon. Magnus Maximum, a large avatar covered in soldier gear and weaponry.
Hey, I know this guy.
Huh?
Frack heads over to Whack. Whack pulls out a huge machine gun and he right-clicks on it to choose Inspect to see the creator profile of the gun.
This is Magnus Maximum, the guy who ran Maximum Impact Weapon Store.
You mean the guy who came up with the OCS weapon system? But isn't he...
He's dead. He died of cancer shortly after I got on Second Life. It was big news last year. He was one of the richest vendors in all of the marketplace. I bought one of the last guns he ever made before his stores were shut down.
What the heck is his avatar doing here?
Oh man, I always wondered about this. Like, what does Loudon Labs do with avatars after their owners have passed on?
You mean this is some kind of leftover glitch or something?
No, I mean like when people leave all their data is still in the system, right? So what happens to it after people are gone?
So you mean this is like some sort of tribute to them?
Nope. I mean, like the SL grid is actually hooked up to their backup data in like some sort of cloud configuration, and leftover avatars are stored there.
That explanation doesn't make any sense. There still has to be some kind of computer accessing the account for us to see them.
Not necessarily. I don't think anyone is in these avatars.
Wack waves his hand in front of the still avatars' faces and snaps his fingers. The two are startled by a voice screaming at them.
Don't bother with that.
Camera quickly pans to Catboy Kunhua, standing under his lone spotlight.
Good evening. I'm your host, Catboy Kunhua. Two college freshmen who should be studying for their finals are spending their time in a virtual world known as Second Life. They find themselves transported to a place they find completely unfamiliar. A place not filled with pose balls or sex dungeons or gothic dance clubs, but a sim filled with avatars from people who have passed on. An electronic graveyard occupied by digital phantoms that may seem strange to our world, but are quite commonplace in the Twilight Zone.
Sim of the Dead by Catboy Quinoa.
Hey.
So you can see from the card that I gave you, sometimes people will select one thing, sometimes they'll combine things, and sometimes they will, sometimes they'll just get an inspiration that has nothing to do with the card, but just right away, clickety clickety click for 45 minutes to an hour, and we come up with some of these cute little flash plays. The next one I'm going to share with you is one of my plays. It's called Sentient Life Forms. I'm going to pass it out. Did Harpo find a seat? Harpo joined us. Wait, if you could res an extra chair, Fran, that would be great. I think Harpo, did the chair just get res? Have all the cold shot people got note cards?
I've got it.
Okay. We have Abu Wali, Maha, and a narrator. Wisdom Seeker, why don't you play Maha? And Harpo, if you can find a seat, why don't you do Abu Wali? And Sonatus, will you do the narration for this one?
Yep. Ready?
Is everybody ready?
Okay, this is Sentient Life Forms, written by Belana Blaze.
Did Harpo just say hey?
I guess you check it.
I said hey, but I don't have a script.
Oh, you know what? I must have missed you when you walked by. I thought I threw one at you.
I guess I better not start yet.
The chair was moving and it missed me.
What a moving experience.
Definitely moving. And I'm Abu Wale. Okay, got it.
All right. This is Sentient Life Forms, written by Belana Blaze. Early evening. A conversation between friends is being held beside a clear, quiet lake. Night birds sing to each other, unaffected by the pair. The stillness is periodically interrupted by a soft breeze from the east.
Bullshit.
Not.
It's so.
is not.
Then what is the point of it all, if all is not pointless?
From a religious standpoint or from a rational standpoint?
Ah, cut the philosophical bullshit. I hate when you ride behind that. I can smell the pretension even now.
Abu Ali coughs.
But there's no other way to say it. Life is not rational. You burn a bridge at some point, some arbitrary point in time. Then days later, years later, you have to cross that river again, or worse, that deep, rocky ravine. What do? Turn back?
I would swim. I would fly. I would teach myself to zip line.
Cute, but not rational.
So you would have us never burn bridges? Never cauterize a bleeding wound?
I'd like to think that our science has evolved beyond such primitive things, but metaphorically speaking,
Ah, there's that green putrid smell of cigar again.
I'd like to think we're more advanced in the way we handle bleeding emotions and personal drama. Are we not adults? Can't we step back and own our actions, make amends for past hurts?
You haven't.
Let's not make this personal.
Ah, how can this be anything but personal?
Just because we have a history does not mean we need to make it a present conflict. We can leave the past in the past for the sake of our friendship.
What? Could you be any more duplicitous?
If you can accuse me of double dealing in our very contentious past, then you must concede that we are both capable of highly moral and mature behavior as well as deceitful deeds.
Sounds quite the opposite when you say it. Purely primitive, self-gratifying. You would cannibalize your neighbors and plump fat children if it meant you could have their spot at the head of the line.
How can you speak of me in that way? You cannot suggest there's anything in our past that justifies this character assassination.
The zebras go on with their argument about morality, ethics, and poetics, deeply engaged in their discussion, not noticing a stealthy lioness creeping up on them as the dark of night falls.
I didn't know it was a zebra till the very end.
That's one of the fun things about the Flash Advance, is because it's a cold reading, you don't know where it's going. Oh, the only person that knows is the author, who sits behind the screen giggling. They're
And
coming
now
to
we're
it.
both dead. Lion lunch. Thank you very much.
Yes. Yes, it could go anywhere. Let's see. Let's try and get two more in before we have to stop, because we have to stop at the top of the hour for other events. But I'm so glad we had a chance to do a little bit. That's true to you. Of what we do at Flash and Dash. One moment, please, as okay, we'll do this one. Easier to go. This one is called Day of the Deadbeat. It's one that I wrote because there's a huge gentrification going on in the Bay Area where I live in RL, and a lot of small businesses are being shoved out because the rents are getting doubled and tripled. And so this is a little playlet about a couple who have, lost their business of many years. So let's see. Tuya, will you be the old woman? And Fran, Will you be buy and flip? That's the new landlord who is buying and flipping buildings.
Okay.
And Sonitus, uh, would you do old man?
Okay.
And Harpo, would you do the narration?
All right.
And so uncharacteristic of you, Wisdom Seeker, will you be the voice from the street?
Sure.
And my laughter makes her worry. Take it away.
All right. Interior curio shop. Tiny, half-size shop off Broadway. The kind that is supported by the community. In this case, the Latino community, because they make traditional folk art, ritual objects, and personal gifts the way people did in the old country. Little and not so little object they are rest everywhere. There are also as many boxes stacked and ready to move in the little shop away from its home of 40 years. The door opens with a ringing bell, and Buy and Flip comes in.
Pendejo.
Good afternoon, Miss Jimenez. Good to see you. You're getting packed.
Yes, I'm sure it pleases you to see that we are getting out of your way.
The arrangement was very legal.
You tricked my husband.
He was informed about the terms of the extension. He was duly notified that he was not in compliance. He was not able to meet the terms. So a 3-day eviction was issued. Business is business, Mrs. Jimenez. You have run this business for over 40 years. I know you know that.
I know that you tricked him. You waited for me to be out of town, and you tricked into signing that extension. He trusted you. He trusts too much.
I did business with the legal owner of this shop. If you felt he was not competent to represent your business in its legal affairs, you should have sought co-ownership.
He is competent, as you say, but too trusting. I am an old woman. I was brought up to be the helpmate for my novio. In my culture, that would have shamed him. Until now, no one has taken advantage of that. They've always dealt with us both. He is the artist. I am the businesswoman.
I am a landlord, Miss Jimenez, not a social service agency. Business is business. Now, I can put this building on the market right downtown, walking distance to public transportation. It will sell fast.
Sell fast as an investment property that no one will rent. It will be boarded up. It will get vandalized. It will be another dead building in the downtown next to your $1 million condos. You kill us. You kill the city. You kill the culture. You kill and pleasure yourselves on the bones of the dead that you kill.
Very poetic, Mrs. Jimenez. But the fact remains, you must vacate by tomorrow noon or be put out.
Yes, we will be gone. But remember, rituals are rituals for a reason.
Your superstitions do not scare me.
Obviously, we would not have done this.
I will be here tomorrow noon. Good afternoon.
Buy and Flip steps out the door.
Punta.
Old woman watches Buy and Flip through the shop windows resting on the broom handle. A pop and screeching tires precede the AC Transit bus that swerves and jumps the curb. It hits Buy and Flip dead on. It propels him backward through the shop window. The bus demolishes the front of the store and the inventory there. Pipes burst and flood the room. The old woman and the man leave by the back door, smiling.
I guess it was a good thing we kept the insurance paid up, Mamacita.
End.
Day of the Deadbeat.
I knew it would be light and fluffy.
Wasn't quite expecting that.
Oh, that's the. I don't know if anybody remembers that scenes we'd like to see. I think that we are like a minute. Oh, there we go. Right, 1 o'clock on the dot, and it's been really a lot of fun sharing what we do at Cold Shot Flash and Dash. I invite you all to join us. Every Saturday, 11 to 1. We read plays on the second and fourth Saturdays. And on the first and thirds, we write the plays and then read them. And when we have a fifth Saturday, we do both. So you're all very welcome. And
Thank you all.
us.
Yes,
The Cold
thank you
Shot
all.
Ensemble.
And thank the audience. It's been a wonderful audience.
Hi, I just want to squeeze in one thing because my partner Danny just had to leave.
Still
Her
welcome to join.
meditation is tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Meditation at Inspiration Island, up at the 700 platform. And please do come. It's been a great series, and I hope that you'll be able to. And I'm just going to paste into chat here her weblog. So please check that out. It's a great blog that she maintains, and I hope to see you there.
Yes, it is great. I enjoy it so much. Okay, thank you, everybody. I guess we should go on to the next events. Yes, and thank you very much, Electra. That was wonderful of you to do that. Someone has a question for you, Belan, about the picture.
Okay, wait a minute. First I got to see it. About the picture. Okay, wait a minute. Can you read the question for me? Because the chat's scrolling up so fast.
Yeah. It says, I love that black and white picture of a woman at the top left of the Coal Shop poster. Can you sauce me, please? I think it means something else. Can you something? Is there some way to tell the person where you got it?
Oh, source it. Oh, yes.
Source it. Okay, source it. Okay, right. Autocorrect.
It's from my wallet. I'm sorry, Bilal. You'll have to let the truth out. It's a portrait of me. I'm very humble.
Portrait.
So.